Welcome to County Report This Week. I'm Sonia Burke. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the next half hour, local leaders promote walking as they celebrate International Walk to School Day with area students. And we'll preview this year's World of Montgomery Festival. But we begin with the Pesticide Bill. Montgomery County is now the first county in the nation to restrict the use of certain pesticides on private lawns and county-owned property. And as Susan Kennedy reports, it was a close council vote that included some intense debate. Susan?
This book published by the EPA recognizes that they are poisonous. And so the question is, for which uses are they acceptable, and does the adverse health effect cost outweigh the benefits?
In the grand scheme of assuming that everybody's like us and has the fortunate ability to be able to pay to drive their Lexus or to afford custom organic lawn care instead of the only thing that they can afford to try and make sure that their house looks good, matters.
It was a packed hearing room for the vote on this measure that would prohibit the use of certain pesticides on lawns and also on certain county-owned property. After more than 3 hours of vigorous discussion, the council voted 6-3 to move ahead with the bill.
Is adopted on a 6-3 vote,
making Montgomery County one of the first jurisdictions in the nation to adopt this type of legislation.
And what the council is saying today is that the right of a homeowner to maintain a weed-free lawn does not supersede the right of adjacent neighbors to be kept free of harm.
As far as private lawns go, the council voted to implement restrictions beginning January 1st of 2018. Montgomery County Parks has said it would immediately stop using pesticides at its parks, and the county will phase out the use of chemicals at its facilities by July 1st of next year. 293 county playing fields will have until 2020 to make the necessary adjustments. Though most council members were in agreement that restricting the use of these pesticides is a good idea, they disagreed on how to go about it.
My concern is that by imposing a ban that will be challenged in court, I proposed a more measured approach, an approach that was phased by saying, let's reduce pesticide use by 50% in 3 years, and if we don't get there, by gosh, let's look at other measures that would get us there.
To read the legislation in its entire form, visit the council's webpage at montgomerycountymd.gov and visit the council site and search for Bill 5214. In Rockville, I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
Unemployment is down in Montgomery County, according to the Maryland Department of Labor. The latest labor figures indicate that unemployment in August was at 3.8%, compared to 4.6% a year ago. That means almost more than 10,000 residents had jobs compared to the year before. County Executive Ike Leggett said that's good news for the county.
I think it's more credit to the overall economy and the strong foundation that we've had in Montgomery County to push in areas of biotechnology and other areas, the growth that you can see in a number of areas for which we put a great deal of time and effort in. I think we're going to see tremendous growth based on the economic challenges that we face and how we've been able to overcome those with the 6-point economic plan.
Thousands walked to school on October 7th as part of International Walk to School Day. Here in our county, the Bells Mill Elementary School community fired up their feet on a challenge to promote walking and biking to school as a way to a healthier lifestyle. Lorna Virgili went on that walk in Potomac and joins us with more. Lorna?
Sonia, today was a fun walk for these 625 students. However, this has become a competition for the rest of the month of October.
Mr. Leffler's class, here we go!
This was a 2 blocks walk, led by school patrols and Sparky, the fire and rescue dog. The Bells Mill Elementary School community celebrated International Walk to School Day.
To get out and be active is very, very important. Walking to school is one way to do it. Walking to school with friends and walking to school with your brothers and sisters and others is very important. Really becomes a community event in terms of everyone getting out, being together, walking to school, and getting that physical activity, being active.
The students gather in an outside assembly to listen to law enforcement officials, give them tips on how to use safe routes to walk to school. But these students are taking it up a notch. They are already engaged on a challenge to create active lifestyles.
Our PE teacher and our principal have put together a program called Fire Up Your Feet. It's a national program through Kaiser Permanente where schools will be competing for money for exercise equipment. And the way that they do that is we're trying to get every student out and about and exercising every day. And the more you exercise, the more money you can earn for your school.
And within the 55-minute PE class, their teacher is helping them accomplish those goals.
Where we're having all the kids document as best as they can all their physical activities, whether it's in PE class or at recess or extracurricular activities. And we're really, part of our curriculum here, part of my curriculum is to promote wellness more so than skill development. It's really about lifelong health and wellness. Not being healthy and active when you're 8, but when you're 88.
International Walk to School Day also serves to educate drivers to operate vehicles more cautiously around schools. In Potomac, for County Report This Week, I'm Lorna Virgili.
Montgomery and Baltimore counties recently held a technology briefing to explore shared service and to collaborate fiber optic communication network systems that support public safety. Montgomery County Executive Ike Leggett hosted a delegation headed by the Baltimore County Executive. During a tour of Montgomery's facilities, the delegation visited MC 311 headquarters and also the county's Stat Center with the objective of sharing government practices and exploring how both counties utilize technology to deliver services.
Well, first of all, let me thank County Executive Kamenetz for his leadership in Baltimore County. It is clear that they've made a great deal of advancement in technology overall, and that we share a lot in similar. And of course, there are some things that I learned today, for example, in the Health and Human Services, to make sure that we've captured all the doors, and it seems as though they have a much more robust entry into their system so that they capture more than Montgomery County. I was very impressed with their fiber connectivity. They've made a great deal of strides, not only within county government, but also with agencies outside of county government, the schools, the colleges, and some of the businesses. And we need to make sure that we learn from that as well. And of course, we're going to continue to work together, and I'm very impressed that the two staffs have in fact been in contact, and we'll continue to work on some of the goals and objectives that we've outlined today. So I was very impressed with what we've accomplished and what I think we can accomplish in the foreseeable future.
This has really been a helpful trip for not only for me, but for my staff, because there's obviously opportunities to collaborate, but also to learn practices that we are not currently implementing that will work for us as well. I'm really amazed by listening to the two staffs speak with each other, how similar our counties are in our approach. And I compliment County Executive Leggett, who really has been setting a great standard for technology improvement here. And we hope to pick up some of those ideas, and hopefully we offered some thoughts that Montgomery County folks may find useful.
Both counties are nationally recognized as leaders in digital government, and both have responded to the challenge of a mobile workforce and connected communities by creating mobile applications and redesigning websites. Coming up on County Report This Week, we'll tell you why some county council members are concerned about a change in locations for 2 early voting centers in Montgomery County. And later, we'll tell you about the premiere of Our Town in Rockville. We'll have that story and more right after this.
Montgomery College invites you and your family to experience live music, chef demonstrations, a parade of cultures, and more at the World of Montgomery Festival on Sunday, October 18th from noon to 5 at the Rockville campus. You won't want to miss this.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC 311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Sonia Burke. Recently, the Board of Elections here in Montgomery County announced it would replace 2016 early voting sites in Burtonsville and Chevy Chase with sites in Brookville and Potomac. The Board of Elections picked 9 early voting sites for the 2016 presidential primary and general elections out of 17 possibilities. But some on the council are voicing their concern with the changes and recently held a news conference to state their case.
We have worked very hard as a county without regard to partisanship. We have worked very hard to ensure that we adopt best practices to enhance voter participation. It is all about a county that mirrors the nation. It is all about being proud of the fact that we are an inclusive county and that voter participation and working to put forth best practices and tools, it's not a Democrat Party issue, it's not a Republican issue, it should be everybody's concern and desire.
But I would hope that they would reconsider on their own without forcing legislation, etc., that they would on their own realize that what they did do was not something that should have been done, that they didn't look at it in the way that it should have been looked at, and take the opportunity to correct their action immediately.
The Board of Elections, which has 3 Republicans, chose the new early voting sites by a 3-2 vote along party lines. Jim Shalek, president of the Board of Elections, told us the change was made for geographical reasons.
They may have wanted to preserve 2 sites, but we wanted to add sites to Olney, which is a growing community, vibrant, it's got a hospital, it's got a theater. Why deny them and the people in Potomac, who are great citizens, make a lot of contributions to our county? Why shouldn't they have the opportunity to have early voting sites? We didn't punish anybody. We wanted to add to areas that never had it. And if the councilwoman can get the state legislature to add 2 sites, that's great. That's great. I'm very for it.
The 2 new sites must be approved by the State Board of Elections. County state leaders have proposed emergency legislation that would reinstate the 2 drop sites. 98 new United States citizens recently took their citizenship naturalization oath at the Spanish Ballroom in Glen Echo Park. The new citizens were part of a ceremony organized by the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service in our county.
And so I congratulate you on your choice to adopt the rights and responsibilities of being U.S. citizenship. Now, this is like any other life cycle ceremony. You did much work to get here, but in fact, there is much that is ahead for you. And so I ask you to fully take advantage of the rights and to fully exercise the responsibilities of citizenship. I see that at least one of you is a member of the Armed Forces, and I salute you for your service in the Armed Forces of the United States, and of course the same to other service members.
Montgomery County Council President George Leventhal was a guest speaker at the ceremony. The new naturalized citizens represent countries from all corners of the globe. Progress Place will soon have a new facility on Georgia Avenue in downtown Silver Spring, right behind Fire Station Number 1. The groundbreaking has already taken place, and the new facility is the realization of a public-private partnership. The new Progress Place will be home to programs already operating out of the current location, including services to low-income and homeless populations in the Silver Spring area. But when complete, it will also include 21 personal living quarters on the 4th floor to provide long-term housing solutions.
When you think about this location in the Ripton District, where you have the potential for even greater development and greater revenue return as a result of this county, in partnership with our partners, in partnership with our agencies who are involved here, the nonprofit sector has made a decision that we will build Progress Place, provide housing and all the other amenities that would go into this project. That's a very firm statement.
The current Progress Place facility includes programs operated by Shepherd's Table and Interfaith Works. The Washington Property Company is the county's development partner for this project. The current Progress Place site will be redeveloped with high-rise residential development. Coming up on County Report this week, we'll preview the World of Montgomery Festival. And local leaders gather for the School Community United in Partnership Conference at the universities at Shady Grove. Stay with us. County Report This Week is coming right back.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Sonia Burke. You don't have to drive far to see the world when you can experience the rich cultures represented in Montgomery County at this year's World of Montgomery Festival. MCTV has our story.
If you could travel to 4 different countries in a single day, what would you do? What would you see or taste? Well, consider yourselves lucky to be living here in Montgomery County, one of the most culturally diverse counties in the country, because the World of Montgomery Festival is coming to Rockville campus. Here are the top 5 things you need to know to make the most out of your traveling journey at the World of Montgomery Festival. Number 1. Explore the world with your own festival passport. You can take it with you to each country you visit and track your journey as you learn about Salvadorian hand-woven hammocks or the Ethiopian traditional coffee ceremony. Take it to India, where you'll learn henna art painting, or China, where you can dance with a Chinese dragon. And don't forget to stop by the Montgomery College tent and learn about the diversity of programs offered here at the college. Number 2. Take a selfie with a mask on. The Kid Museum will preview their upcoming mask exhibit, allowing you to make your own molded mask. You can also help construct 3 giant communal masks. Number 3. Come with an empty stomach, because you'll be tasting spices from all over the world at the Global Spice Market. Prepare to try your hand at learning to make roti and get inspired with demonstrations in the Global Kitchen. Number 4. Enjoy musical acts like Robbie Schaefer of Eddie from Ohio, Latin sensation Bernie Barella, or the Cajun blues reggae band the Crawdaddies. And number 5. Make your community a better place to live at the Volunteer Village. This festival will kick off Montgomery County's Community Service Week, so before you leave, learn about the various needs and opportunities where you can make a difference and lend a helping hand. Admission and parking are free here on October 18th from noon to 5 at Montgomery College. For County Report This Week in Rockville, I'm Carolina Galeano.
The 16th Annual SCUP Conference recently gathered to strengthen partnerships between schools and community to support students and their families. MCPS TV has a story.
Adapting to the needs of our community is so important, and that involves so many stakeholders that are here in this room, every single one of you, to make sure that we continue to provide everything that we can for all of our kids so that they can be successful.
Hundreds of MCPS nonprofit and local government representatives gathered at the 16th Annual School Community United in Partnership Conference, also known as SCUP, to share insights and resources for a holistic approach to education.
The SCUP Conference brings together MCPS and community partners who work day in and day out supporting our students and our families. It's a great opportunity for professional learning and conversation.
It's so important to be a part of this conference because we can't do it alone. The professionals, the disciplines of psychologists, counselors, and personnel workers need to work with the county individuals and providers to work as a whole for the family, for the child and the family within the community.
The conference offered workshops on topics like parental engagement, refugee communities, child poverty, and suicide prevention, among others. But it also offered a resource fair that drew dozens of governmental and private nonprofit agencies to showcase their services available to school-age children.
We work with all the other different agencies to meet the needs of students in the schools. And this is a way for all the different members of service providers to get together so that we can meet the needs of the families.
They have a wide selection of resources that I can use to help our families in Montgomery County navigate the county's resources and just to help their children and their families if they need services in any way.
The Montgomery County Planning Department launched the Bicycle Master Plan on July 1st, and since that time, planners have been hosting a series of kickoff meetings around the county to let the community know how they can get involved with a plan that will make recommendations to upgrade bicycle and pedestrian facilities around the county. The final kickoff meeting was recently held at Walter Johnson High School, and it focused on the proposed White Flint separated bike lane network.
There are plenty of places to ride bikes in Montgomery County, but a lot of people don't really feel comfortable doing it. It's partly psychological and it's partly a real risk of riding in traffic. And so by creating a separated bike network, we hope to get people more comfortable with the idea of trying their bikes as a way to get around town. And we can encourage people not just to get out of their cars and reduce traffic congestion, but also do something that will improve their quality of life, their physical fitness, and something that'll just be fun.
The average biker, and I would put myself in that category, does not feel safe riding in traffic. So what we want to do is create a context in which they can be safe, and we know how to do that. That's what cycle tracks are all about. So separated lanes make the average biker feel safer, and if we're going to increase biking in our community, it's the average biker that we need to attract.
I can tell you from experience being a bike commuter that I enjoy my time getting to work on a bike a whole lot more than I enjoy time riding in a car, or even for that matter riding on the subway. And so it can take a time of day that people ordinarily view as a chore or something that they endure and turn it into something that they look forward to.
Well, it's important for your physical well-being. It's important to reduce carbon emissions. It's important for quality of life. So that instead of cars everywhere, you have walkers, you have bikers, you have enlivened streetscapes. So you're trying to create livable communities, and biking is a critical component of that.
The next step is now really to get into the hard work of developing the master plan and the master plan recommendations. Our first step now is going to be developing the approach to the plan, the different metrics that we're going to use, but ultimately we'll get into developing recommendations for different types of bike facilities on different roads, on bicycle parking, on different bike policies.
We are going to have the best bike plan ever written, and by that I don't mean that we're going to have the most bike facilities, that they're going to be everywhere, but that we're going to have the most systematic, rigorous evaluation of how can we get the most bang for our buck out of the limited resources that are available. I mean, it's a time when budgets are tight for everything, but if we can take a little bit of money and make it go a long way to make bicycling more attractive and safer, inviting to more people, we'll have succeeded.
Maryland Public Television's Our Town Rockville is finally complete. And as Rock 11 Now's Catherine Dantzler tells us, the city decided to celebrate the completion of this special project with a viewing.
Our Town Rockville. Our Town Rockville.
Our Town Rockville.
Our Town Rockville.
Lights, camera, action. Maryland Public Television's Our Town Rockville documentary is finished. MPT knew that Rockville is a great place to live, so much so they showcased our city in their Our Town documentary series. It took months of filming and preparation, but it's finally complete. And the city hosted not one, but 2 screenings. One for private viewing at the F. Scott Fitzgerald Theater, the other a public viewing right in the heart of Rockville, Rockville Town Square, with music, food, and fun. And from what we can tell, it received rave reviews.
Rockville is just a great place to live. We're excited about showing it. We have done a series of our towns. This is the 4th in that series. This is by far the most populated area. We're excited about that, a little different, and we just think it's going to be a great program.
This is very exciting. MPT showcasing our wonderful city that is our county seat gives us the opportunity to brag about our wonderful history, our exciting present, and looking into a very successful future.
I know that my footage made it in, and so I invited my parents and some of my friends to come out. So I just want to experience it with everybody else on the big screen out here. And it was really fun to get involved.
I've lived in Rockville my whole life, so I thought it'd be neat to see the history on film.
Our Town Rockville airs on Maryland Public Television on Saturday, October 10th at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday morning, October the 11th at 11 a.m. For County Report This Week, I'm Catherine Dantzler.
Coming up next on County Report This Week, some students host a community festival in Silver Spring to showcase their work about the environment. Plus, you'll meet our Pet of the Week. Don't go away. County Report This Week is coming right back.
Hey, mister, down here. You illegally passed the stop school bus. I'm placing you in timeout. And this timeout means big fines, plus you really could have hurt somebody. That's why school buses are being equipped with video cameras to help kids like me stay safe. So respect the bus.
We did not lose the war in Vietnam. We quit. And it just made it so much harder for all those guys that were wounded.
You look and you see the guys beside you and around you. We realize you're all Americans. And no longer are you a particular race, you're a soldier.
I became the first resident of the Hanoi Hilton. We're going to come out of there, but we're going to come out of there with our honor.
On Saturday, October 24th, join Bob Schieffer at the universities at Shady Grove as we honor our more than 13,000 Montgomery County veterans who served in the Vietnam War.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Sonia Burke. Some middle school students recently hosted a Community Day festival to highlight their work along a nearby creek. MyMC Media's Alini Barros joins us with more. Alini?
Students at Sligo Middle School showcased arts, technology, and science during a Community Day festival where they shared their story of Sligo Creek Stream. It was the first esteemed Sligo Community Day festival where visitors learned about the creek's water quality, built their own terrarium, and recycled through an obstacle course.
Put your hand inside and reach in, and guess what it is?
28 students worked together to learn more about Sligo Creek. The program was a partnership between Sligo Middle School and nonprofits in the area.
They've also bonded as a team to learn about how they can work together to problem solve and look towards future careers, perhaps even show their leadership skills.
As the kids, got out into the environment and touched, the feathers or the rocks, etc., it brought out another level of creativity to them. It helped them engage with another part of society.
We learned that, about the different plants that are in Sligo Creek. Like in our guessing game, we have maples and stuff, and we learned a lot through the field guides.
I decided to do this project where I could teach people techniques of watercolor paintings, like, for example, flat brush.
People can build their own miniature terrariums, and it shows them it's an own little ecosystem and the water cycle. You learn about the water cycle.
Through this project, I think he became more informed about things like erosion and the natural wildlife that are in Sligo Creek.
Normally in school, we don't get to come outside in nature and deal with these things, but I like it. I think it's important and fun.
Others look forward to enroll their child at Sligo Middle School.
It made me feel like this middle school has a lot going on for it, which is exciting because that's the middle school that my son will be going to. And it's impressive to see how much effort they've put into it and what a wonderful festival or fair they've put together.
In Silver Spring, for County Report This Week, I'm Alini Barros.
It's time to roll up your sleeves for Community Service Week. Local residents are invited to make plans to give a few hours of their time to their community by joining family, friends, and neighbors during Community Service Week, which kicks off on October 16th and runs through the 25th. Many of the available service projects provide middle and high school students with the opportunity to earn student service learning hours. Service projects are posted on the Volunteer Center's website at montgomeryserves.org, or you can call 240-777-2608 for more information. Now it's time to meet our Pet of the Week. Kathy Stanhope joins us from the Montgomery County Animal Services and Adoption Center with more. Kathy?
This handsome guy is Baloo. As you can see, he's a pit bull mix and he is a little overweight. So if you want to start a running program, this is the guy for you. He's very nice, he's very affectionate, he likes everybody, and he is looking for a home. We need a special owner who's home a fair amount because he does have a little bit of separation anxiety. Please give us a call at 240-773-5900 or visit Baloo on the web at montgomerycountymd.gov/ASD.
With that, we close this edition of County Report This Week. Remember to like us on Facebook and to join us again at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. I'm Sonia Burke. Thank you for watching.